Moses Atama is not ready for Usyk. It's as simple as that. I mean, Moses may be the next dominant champion of his generation. Maybe that's to come. But his CV is not extensive enough, not by any stretch of the imagination. There are still so many questions. Now, surely, if he fights Joseph Parker or if he fights a Caballero, then maybe we get an answer. But right now, he's simply not ready. However, there's a lot of positive stuff that we can take from Moses Atama. Just going through my notes of the first round against Dillian White, you can see that Moses Atama, he's composed, he's throwing the straight left to the body, which is good. He's making that investment into the body. He's feinting the straight left. And when you look at how he destroyed Dillian White, I say that respectably, you see that there was a three-phased attack. Now, I've got it in my notes. So phase one, it's the feint. So it's the feint with the right because he's a southpaw. It's the feint with the right and then the straight left to the body, right? And then after that phase one, he goes into the phase two, which is a jab, left hook, and then right hook. So that's phase two. And then phase three is then a tap. So it's a tap with the jab, and then it's a left hook to the temple of Dillian White. Some people say it's behind the head, but it's a three-phased attack that was so precise, and Dillian White was in trouble. This was followed by, he's tapping and then he's landing the hooks, and then sometimes he's straightening it up. There was, I believe, a left uppercut to the head and then a right hook to the body. Oh, that body shot, that looked like it hurt. And this, of course, as I stated at the time, was a phenomenal performance. It was a phenomenal performance by Moses Atama. If we was going to grade it 1 to 100, it's got to at least be the 90. Some would say 100. Dillian White tried to use his experience. He made Moses Atama wait in the ring so that even though he developed a sweat, he would be cold. And Dillian White brought a wealth of experience, an extensive CV he brought to the arena. Allegedly, he also brought an injury. But that's not Moses Atama's fault. He handled the situation. He handled the magnitude of the occasion phenomenally, and he executed with absolute precision. We've got to give him credit. But when we look at Moses Atama's CV, we see a lot of people talking about him, and credible people, boxers saying that, yeah, we've seen him spar and he's the real thing. And that's an element of credibility. That is. Then we see the performance against Dillian White, which was absolutely spectacular. Also, the performance against McLean was a good performance. But this is a good CV, right? That's a good CV. But then we got Usyk. And when you compare the CVs, they're just totally unbalanced. So Usyk's CV at the beginning, we're talking professionally here, not amateur. You have the undisputed cruiserweight champion. And then you have the undisputed heavyweight champion. But to get there, we have the 2 victories against Anthony Joshua, former 2-time heavyweight champion, beat him at home. That is a very, very good performance. Both of them were great performances. The first performance was phenomenal. And the second performance, he encountered a better Anthony Joshua. A Joshua with a different team, a Joshua that came to put on the pressure, a Joshua that he came to win the first time, but he came with even greater desire and a greater game plan. And in round 9, it looked like Anthony Joshua was going to take over the fight. And then Usyk showed that he had resilience at the elite heavyweight level. And he came back and he won emphatically. It was a phenomenal performance. And then he has 2 wins against Tyson Fury. Many people were saying that Tyson Fury was one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of this generation. Tyson Fury came in with a great CV. He was undefeated. He beat Klitschko. He went to basically Klitschko's backyard. I say that hyperbolically. And he beat him on a decision. Again, that is phenomenal. He fought Deontay Wilder. Now, I know what you're thinking. Deontay Wilder is overrated, but at the time, Deontay Wilder was a feared puncher, a feared world champion. Plus, Tyson Fury had mental health issues. He was recovering from, from some significant weight issues. And he got in the ring and he delivered a phenomenal performance, which was officially considered a draw. Many people thought that he won, but not only did he have such a great performance, he showed a great act of defiance by being, from what it looked like from the outset, being knocked out, only for his head to hit the canvas to wake up, to have the character to get up, and then dominate that last round. That is immense. And that speaks to his heart. And then he, in the second fight, told everyone that would listen that he's going to dictate the fight. He's not going to box Deontay Wilder. He's going to go and stand in the middle of the ring, dominate the fight, and knock Deontay Wilder out. And that's practically what he did. And then the third fight was a more competitive affair. Yes, he had to touch the canvas once or twice, but eventually he came out victorious in a grueling trilogy. Tyson Fury, in a simple sense, has a great CV. He really does. Of course, he has victories against other credible opposition. And Usyk beat him twice. Whether they were convincing victories depends on who you ask. But again, in round 5 and in round 6, Tyson Fury was looking to take over. He was showing that elite level boxing IQ. And he was boxing phenomenally. He was hitting Usyk with that left hook to the head and that right uppercut to the body, hitting him with the double jab, feinting with the right hand and then going back to the jab, hitting him with that short left hook, picking him off with short punches and then just making some real good strategic adjustments. But Usyk, he downloaded the data and then in round 9, he landed that counter left hand and nearly knocked Tyson out. Tyson, to his credit, fought through it, and it was a great 12-round battle. And then in the rematch, they had another fight, which wasn't as good as the first fight, but again, it was a competitive, demanding affair. And again, Usyk came out on top. And then Usyk fought Daniel Dubois in the rematch. Daniel Dubois, a feared puncher. Yes, he lost the first time against Usyk, but since that time, Daniel Dubois had developed a respectable resume, a phenomenal performance against Gerald Miller, another phenomenal performance against Filip Hrgović, and another phenomenal performance against Anthony Joshua. The CV of Usyk is up here, while the CV of Moses Atama is just, it's nowhere near the caliber. That's not to take anything away from Moses Atama. Moses Atama may be the next great heavyweight, but he hasn't had the opposition. He hasn't had that opposition. And when we're talking about that opposition, we're talking about the Joseph Parkers of the world. We're talking about Caballero. We're talking that level. We're talking Tyson Fury if he hasn't retired. We're talking fighting a Daniel Dubois, even a Martin Bakole. There are many fights out there that will strengthen his CV. So yes, Moses Atama looks phenomenal. Yes, he may be the next dominant champion, but as it stands right now, he doesn't have the qualifications to fight Usyk. And to be honest with you, it's beneficial for the magnitude of the fight and for the economic potential of the fight that Moses Atama keeps building his portfolio. Because if he can maintain these emphatic performances, the boxing purists and the general public, they will yearn for this fight. And that means the economic potential of this fight will grow exponentially.